Hello. Um, so I know that this is a pretty hard thing to resist whenever you're dieting or trying to eat healthy is binging or just like going completely crazy and just trying to eat whatever you can because you crave something like really, really bad. And it is hard to be consistent with eating the right things, but I know some tricks or tips or whatever to help you not binge for the most part. And the first one would definitely be to have a cheat meal once a week, like a planned cheat meal. Uh, I myself have a problem with having a cheat meal. It ends up being like a cheat time period, like from a 4 p.m. to like 6 p.m. I pretty much just shove my mouth full of food, which is why I don't do the cheat meal, or I try not to do the cheat meal because it just ends up escalating for me. But I know it really works for a lot of people. And pretty much what you do is you just need to plan that one meal for the once in the week. Plan when you're going to eat it, preferably what you're going to eat and what time and everything, so that whenever it gets time to be your cheat meal, you know exactly what you're going to eat. You're not going to overeat like to where you're going to be throwing up or anything crazy like that. So definitely a planned cheat meal is the number one best way to not binge. Because once you get all that stuff out of you and you eat all that junk and you get those cravings out of you, you're good for another week. And so when you do that once a week, it pretty much helps. I mean, you might gain a half a pound or something, but I mean, when you do it all in one day or in one meal, it doesn't really have that big of effect because your body's going to metabolize it since it's used to being at a calorie deficit. The second way is to keep a goal in mind, and that could be either like if you're, I don't know, you see some Oreo cookies or something, and like you can have one, but if you go and you are about to eat like six or something, visualize yourself down the road when you're super, super healthy and you're at your goal body. I don't know, visualization. Just kind of try to picture yourself having that goal body that you want, and then take a look back at those cookies or food or whatever and say, is this going to help me get there? And that definitely works. It helps me all the time. Even if like I'm running on the treadmill and I don't want to keep going any longer, I just kind of think, what will I look like down the road if I keep going? Just stay strong. So yeah, definitely keeping your goal in mind and your visualization of your goal overall definitely helps. The third one is that I use a lot. I actually have gum in my mouth right now, but I chew gum a lot. I fly through gum just because I like to, I don't know, chew on something or something. That's why it's hard for me to, to eat only certain things because I like to just eat this or eat that just because I like to chew on something or, whatever. But definitely gum helps a lot. I buy the 3-pack of this and it's like $2. I buy the cheap stuff because I go through it really, really fast. So when it loses its flavor, I tend to just spit it out. So chewing gum definitely helps because it gives you that burst of flavor and hopefully it'll calm you down. And whenever you're chewing the gum, drink a lot of water because it'll just kind of give you the fuller feeling while you're chewing on something, and it kind of just takes out that stimulation that your body is hungry and has a craving or anything. Uh, Another way is whenever you're exercising and you realize how hard it is to burn all those calories, reflect back on burning calories whenever you're going to eat calories because you're going to limit the amount of calories you put in your mouth when you reflect on how hard it is to burn off that extra. So if you're trying to eat 2,000 calories a day and you see I don't know, a cheeseburger or something and you want a cheeseburger and let's say it has 400 calories in it, reflect on how hard it is to burn those 400 calories and then ask yourself again, is it really necessary for me to eat this because it's going to be so hard to burn off that extra stuff that I could just made a simple decision and not eat it. I mean, it takes discipline, and after a while, you just have to kind of control yourself because we've been accustomed to having all these delicious foods that our bodies aren't naturally meant to handle. Like they're overly good, like they taste too good for us. So our body becomes accustomed to it, and we can essentially become addicted. So it really helps to equate the amount of hard work it takes to burn off those extra calories that you don't need. And some other things that you could do, kind of more on the, I don't know, extensive side, is if you really have a problem with the way you look, right? If you think you have too much excess body fat, and that's the reason you're trying to eat healthy and stuff. If you're about to think you're going to binge, and you see this food here, and you want it, and you're about to eat it, maybe just pull up your shirt or go in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, is it going to help me get to what I want to? Look at yourself and say, this is how I got here, and I should not be putting this back in my body because it's getting me back from square one. I don't want to get there. I don't want to be there, so I shouldn't be putting these things in my body. And that helps a lot. I know when I weighed a lot more, like 50 so pounds ago, if my roommates were like, oh yeah, you can have this, we're not gonna eat it. We have leftover pizza, and I'm trying to eat all this healthy chicken and stuff, and like, oh, you can have it, and I'm literally about to shove 2 pieces of pizza in my mouth. I dropped it, went to the bathroom, and just lifted up my shirt and I said, this is how I got here. I don't want to go back to this. And so I just walked away from it. I know it seems kind of crazy, but it definitely helps. That's more on the crazy side, but I mean, some people don't have a problem with just saying no to food. But I don't know. It kind of just depends. So it kind of depends on your discipline, because some people can walk away from it, some people can't. So it really just helps to do certain things to keep you on track. And one last thing is, if you have a person that you want to look like, you can use that for motivation, but don't use it for your only motivation, because chances are you're not going to look like that. Like, not to break you, but chances are you're not going to look like that because your body type is different. And like, some people have better genetics for losing weight than others, so you can't slowly force yourself to look like somebody else, because they're completely different. Like, some people have a 6-pack, some people have a 4-pack, some people have their body react to working their pecs while others don't as well. Just certain things like that. But definitely, if you have somebody that, like, have a picture of some person that you want to look like, you can keep that in mind, but just don't keep that as your only motivation, because chances are you're not really going to look like that. So yeah, those are just a few tips on how not to binge. But definitely try to have a cheat meal once a week. Keep it planned. Make sure you know what you're going to eat. Make sure you know when you're going to eat it. And then preferably do it on a workout day, so that it's not horribly bad. But then again, no, it doesn't really matter too much. But just keep it to one meal, because the second you go to another day with a cheat meal, like back to back, you're messing it all up. So, not to break you, but that's what happens. So yeah, I just thought this would be a pretty interesting video, because I know it's a huge problem with a lot of people. But just take it in small steps, and you should be able to get there pretty soon. By the way, I'm not sure what my weight was in my last video, but now I'm down to 205. So yeah, it's going pretty good. I was doing speed incline walking for my low interval training or whatever, to burn fat. But then my heart rate, I can't get it up high enough on the speed walking anymore. I have a resting heart rate of 42 beats per minute. And so now I have this Walmart heartbeat sensor deal. And I get on the treadmill and I run like 2% incline, 5 miles per hour, and I do that for like 45 minutes. And that gets me in that fat burning area. And that's how I'm losing tons of weight. And I actually eat more than I was. I'm eating like 2,200 calories a day, and I'm still losing weight. So yeah, it definitely helps to work out more. And if you can run, definitely do it, because it's really easy. Like, it's not that hard. It's just the physical mindset, and you just need to keep your mind focused, because the second you say, oh man, I don't have to do this, you're going to get off the treadmill. But keep your mind to it, and you're definitely going to stick to it longer, and it's going to definitely help, because you burn tons of calories running. So yeah, this is just a tip that I thought would help, and talk to you later.